Now, I would like to introduce Kate O'Brien, the Faculty Staff Alumni Committee Leader, who will be giving the intro today.
Thanks, Carolyn. We are so glad that everyone can join us today. And a quick plug, if you're interested in joining our team and planning events for faculty and staff alumni, please reach out to either Carolyn or I, and we'd love to have you join our committee. But today I have the privilege, like Carolyn said, of introducing our speaker, Gina Orlando. Gina has a passion for health and body, mind, emotions, and spirit, and has worked for 37 years as an educator, consultant, writer, coach, hypnotherapist, trainer, and practitioner. That's a lot of to-dos and a lot of hats. Helping people of all ages make positive changes in their lives, health and wealth. And Gina spells wealth, WELLTH. And she's worked in the fields of holistic health, integrative healthcare, natural foods, and disease prevention. She earned her master's degree from DePaul School for New Learning in 1998, and her thesis looked at the power of prayer and positive intention for healing as well as disease prevention. She's a certified hypnotherapist trained in self-hypnosis, relaxation techniques, guided imagery, emotion freedom techniques, and other mind-body energy techniques. And she's fascinated with energy medicine, which is the science of biophysics, and is trained and certified in various modalities. And Gina's also intrigued with the role of spirituality in health and wellness. She conducts a private holistic health consulting, hypnotherapy, and coaching practice in Oak Park, which is called Naturally Wealthy, again, the WELLTHY. And she works with community, hospital, corporate wellness groups for stress reduction, career change, anti-aging, wellness strategies, anxiety relief, sport improvement, pain relief, smoking cessation, and sleep improvement. So I think we all fall into one of those, right? We all need help in one of those areas. So we're super excited to have Gina. She's also been teaching in the Now School of Continuing and Professional Studies for 12 years, and also at UIC. And if you'd like to learn more, her website is ginaorlando.com, because there's obviously many things I could have shared with her. This is just about her. This is just a little tidbit. So thank you, Gina, so much for being with us today and sharing your expertise and wisdom.
I am so happy to be here, fellow DePaul alumni. And one of the courses that I teach at the School for Continuing and Professional Studies is called Stress Reduction Using Spirituality and Humor. And it's always been a popular class, but it's really a popular class now because it is a very intense time, a very wild time. And the trick with dealing with stress is it's not the idea of we're going to get rid of stress, because that's stress is around us. It's how do we flow with it better? How do we adapt? How do we build resilience? And so that we can flow through our lives more calm, more focused, with less fear, with less stress, with less anxious feelings. I've been passionate about gathering tools and techniques and approaches to help people. And I also teach what I need to learn and know. I mean, this work keeps me involved in my daily practice of managing not only stress, but this wild time. So happy to share with you. The text that I use in this course, it's called, and the course that I teach at SCPS is called Transforming Stress. And it's by the HeartMath group. And the Heart, if you don't know HeartMath, they've been around almost about 30 years, and they are stellar about their research and their orientation for us to get out of our heads and move to our heart center and expand the energy of our heart, calm our heart rhythms. And for that, I'll show you from one of their texts. Rather than always bringing up, I'll just bring it from a book. When we're stressed, when we're anxious, when we're aggravated, frustrated, angry, our heart rhythms can be quite irregular, right? We would call this low coherence. When we're calm, feeling safe and secure, happy, loving, look what can happen to our heart rhythms, very regular. So this kind of measurement is called HRV, heart rate variability. And this would be called a high coherent state. So the technique out of the Heart Math group, and you can look on their website, heartmath.org, and it's an odd name, right? Heart, obviously they're heart-centered. Math, meaning they're into the data, they're into the research. And heartmath.org. Their most popular one technique takes about 1 or 2 minutes. Of course, you could do it longer. It's called quick coherence technique. Again, quick meaning 1 to 2 minutes. Coherence is that beautiful rhythm, right? That even rhythm. And let me teach that to each of you now. And before that, I would like each of you to assess either your stress level, if you have anxious feelings, frustration, overwhelm, anger, whatever you want to track, and track it on that scale of 0 to 10. It's called a SUDS level, SUDS. 0 would be gone. 10 is extreme. I always say emergency room, kind of panic, right? 5 would be in the middle, moderate. 2 and 3 would be mild. 4, 5, 6 in that moderate range. 6, 7 strong. 8, 9 very strong. 10 again is panic. I can guess none of you are at a 10 because you're here listening to a webinar. So assess whatever you want to stress or whatever you want to track, and get your SUDS level, 0 through 10. And if numbers are hard for you, pick a word, just to get a sense. And what we're going to do in this workshop, I'm going to ask you to engage with various stress reduction techniques to build resilience. And at the end of this series, I'm then going to ask you to go back and check your SUDS level on a scale of 0 to 10 and just notice how it shifted. Okay? So your SUDS level, have that to mind, or if you want to jot it down or put it in your phone, whatever. So here is the quick coherence technique. A minute or two. And the first thing is to bring your attention from your mind, from your brain, into your heart center. I'm going to stand up just to show you. You can put your hand on your heart center. You can put 3 fingers on your heart center, or you can simply just bring your attention there. The nice thing about actually touching your heart center is that we call this a kinesthetic trigger, and it helps your body and mind get there quickly, because we're a heady people, right? We're here a lot, and often in the left part of our brain, right? So bring your attention to your heart center. Then the second step is something called heart breathing. So start breathing in a slow, meditative way, intentional, slow, like say 5 seconds on the inhalation, 5 seconds, or even a little more on the exhalation. You all know how to do that through your nose if you can. The only difference here with heart breathing is, and again, I'll stand just a, is have a sense that the breath is moving in through your heart center and exhaling out of your heart center. It's just a felt sense. It's not literally happening. Let your mind have a sense of guiding your breath through your heart center. We're not worried right now about your aorta, your arteries, your vessels, heart center, your feeling center, right? That energetic center, heart breathing. And if you're struggling at all with what does this mean, just pretend that you're doing it, and the same effect will be in play. Heart breathing. Okay, keep on doing heart breathing. Step 3 is engage a positive feeling. Feel a positive feeling. And an easy one for most people is gratitude, having that attitude of gratitude. Just open your heart, feel with that grateful feeling, right, as you're doing the heart breathing. So that's a technique. The heart breathing, which automatically has a heart focus, and a positive feeling. So let's have you do that. And if you prefer to close your eyes, absolutely. And we're gonna clock it for a minute right now. Heart breathing with this positive feeling of gratitude. And if your mind wanders, simply bring it back to your breath and to your feeling. If any are struggling with actually feeling a positive feeling, think about something you're grateful for and then bring that thinking down into your beautiful heart center. Begin to notice anything that's changing in your body, in your mind, in your stress level, or whatever you're tracking. And you can open your eyes. That was a minute. And just check in. Again, if we didn't have such a wonderful group, we have 88 people already, I'd be asking for some feedback. Of course, as a teacher, that's what we do, you know. But just make that mental note of your feedback. Do you feel more calm? Do you feel more relaxed? Sometimes when people feel calm and relaxed, they feel tired, right? Because we're tired. A lot of people are tired. Their sleep isn't necessarily the best. It may be easier to feel more hopeful, or that you can tackle that next thing on your to-do list, or whatever. Your shoulders may relax a little bit, whatever it is. Your stomach may relax. It's a beautiful technique. We're gonna practice it again before we close at the end. Okay. So another wonderful thing that you can do for stress reduction or any kind of intensity reduction is to connect with nature. Here we are in a winter northern state, a little not as easy as during the warmer months, but today is a glorious, bright day. It's cold, but it's bright. Get some sun. Go outside, breathe, look at the trees, even go up to a tree and put your back against the tree and just watch the clouds. Having even a few moments in nature, very grounding. But when the warm weather comes, take your shoes off and ground to the earth, right? Spend more time even laying right on the earth. Get out of your plastic bottomed shoes. Why? Because we are part of this magnificent creation, whatever you would call that, whatever your spiritual tradition is. And we are also electromagnetic, and we need to connect to the earth and her energies. As a modern people, we've lost that, which is part of the reason we have not only stress, but a lot of chronic diseases because of the inflammation. Okay, so nature. So we're going to do the next best thing. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to see a beautiful video of a magnificent full moon. And today's full moon, this is a full moon in New Zealand. And it's one of those times when the moon seems so huge, and it's at an observation deck. So you're going to see these little tiny people with this magnificent moon. Beautiful music also. And also remember, as you're listening to this, some of the beautiful times and places where you have really connected and communed with nature. One of the most healing, stress-reducing things we can do. Okay, let's do that. I have to mute my
And Gina, I believe you can unmute yourself. That way we can hear the audio.
We are part of something so much bigger than us, so magnificent, that is so deeply stress reducing. Whatever your spirituality is, that is also part of, we are part of nature. Beautiful. So just check in with your SUDS level, whatever you're tracking, stress or whatever. Is it lower? Okay. Then of course we can, each of you can be supported by your own spirituality. Again, that could be religion. That in this course that I teach, that involves spirituality across the interfaith spectrum, as DePaul is so supportive of. There is such beautiful diversity in the spirituality of our students. And read something from your tradition, read and beyond that, self-help, psychology, philosophy, those kinds of things. So I'm actually going to share 3 spiritual quotes, and 2 of them are a little longer. One is by the author Marianne Williamson. She is a Course in Miracles teacher. And you probably have heard this one, and it's worth hearing again. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And we are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. And again, feel free to, of course, use a word other than God with your expansive spirituality. This next one is a poem by Hafiz of Shiraz, and this is from a book called Oh, and tag, You're It. You're it. God disguised as a myriad things and playing a game of tag has kissed you and said, you're it. I mean, you're really it. Now, it doesn't matter what you believe or feel, for something wonderful, major league wonderful, is someday going to happen. You're it. And from one of my favorite Christian mystics, Julianne of Norwich. She actually lived through the waves of the bubonic plague, so she has something to share with us, and so comforting. She says, all will be well, and all will be well, and all manner of things will be well. That has become one of my mantras. All is well, all will be well. Because it's so easy to get into fear and catastrophizing, and things work out. Okay, so check in with your SUDS level, whatever you're tracking on that scale of 0 to 10. What's shifting? What things are helping you shift easier and quicker? One of the most wonderful ways to shift our stress levels and build more resilience is through humor. And again, in our class at DePaul, at SCPS, we use humor, and the students pick some humor clips, and we share that as part of the class. And there is something about being reminded how powerful humor is, and how easily accessible it is through YouTube with these clips of your favorite comedians or whatever. And some of these clips are 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can have an endorphin break. Imagine that with laughing, you create these endorphins, these amazing chemicals, because your brain is the most magnificent pharmacy in the whole universe. You create these endorphins and you feel better, much better than having that brownie or the extra cup of coffee or the sugar this or the crunchy that, right? So I want to share what has become one of the favorite comedy clips that we use in class. So bear with me for a few seconds while I screen share.
You, sir, at Pump 16 in Burbank. Yeah, the gentleman singing. Really nice singing voice. Yeah, good morning, sir, Pump 16.
Hey!
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
You got a good voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, do you do that professionally?
No, just karaoke.
Just karaoke?
Yeah.
Guess what, buddy? You came to the right gas pump.
All right.
I'll tell you what, we'll pay for your gasoline.
Okay.
How about a little karaoke from you?
Okay, what you want?
What do you got?
Oh, I'm an 80s kid, so I like
Well, you're an
Janet,
80s
like
guy.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Living on a prayer?
You want living on the front?
You need the words?
No, I know them, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, here's Will with Living on a Prayer.
Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He down on his luck, he's too.
You're good.
So too.
Look out, Bon Jovi.
Woo! Gina works at diner all day, working for her man. She brings home her pay for love.
Get this guy on The Voice.
For love. She says we gotta hold on to what we got. Doesn't make a difference if we make it or not.
Your girlfriend
We
loves
got
it.
each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, and we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer.
Yeah!
What was that?
Look how embarrassed your girlfriend is. That your wife?
That's
Who's in
my
the car?
wife. Yeah. You want to get me to get her? No, I'll leave her in there.
Yeah, does she do a duet? Get her out here.
You want to do a duet?
Yeah, we want a duet.
They want to do that?
Come on.
You don't want to do it.
She won't do it?
She won't do it.
You are living on a free tank of gas.
Living on a tank of gas. Oh, that's the happy. Oh, living for the free gas. Living for the gas. Woo!
He's a great singer.
Yeah, he's right there. Is it working?
Can I see?
I'm right here, man.
What the hell? Oh, up there.
Right there. Look at the camera.
Are you for real? It's live?
Yeah, Pumpcast News.
Oh my gosh.
We do news of gas all over the country. Now, is this woman a singer too?
Are you a singer?
No.
You sure? Everybody does karaoke. She does a good Alanis Morissette.
What song by Alanis Morissette?
None. I'll sing Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics.
Here, it's coming up. Here, it's about to start.
Okay. I'm ready. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I traveled the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you.
Give her a little backup.
Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Dance break.
I'm gonna get both of you on The Voice.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Sing, baby.
Who am I to disagree? I traveled the world and the 7 seas.
Get it, girl.
Everybody's looking for something. Dance break, dance break, dance break.
Moving on. They gon' hit us. Moving on. They gon' hit us. Moving on.
He's stealing your thunder.
Moving on. They gon' hit us. Moving on. They gon' hit us. Moving on. Go gon' hit us. Moving on. They gon' hit us.
It's become one of our most popular of these in the class when people pick their favorites over the quarter. The pure joy too of these people, it's infectious, and also both of them, but especially this guy, is so comfortable in his own skin. It can lift us, right? And then think of some of your favorite comedians, or soap on, what do you call it? Situation comedies or these kind of things. It's just easy to pull them up, few minutes. It can really change your day, and it changes your biochemistry. Very helpful for stress reduction and building resilience. So check in with your SUDS level on a scale of 0 to 10. How is that shifting? Another wonderful thing is listening to some of your favorite music. We won't do that right now, but that's one to make note of, how important music is to shift our mood, to help us feel more relaxed, safe, in the flow. Again, music affects us too, where it changes our biochemistry. Many of you may be into essential oils. What essential oils are is a distillation of plant essence, plant chemicals, and we'll even say plant wisdom. We have this beautiful, as humans, have this beautiful symbiotic relationship with plants. So essential oils are a way for us to, again, relax or support our mood or help our focus. We do not have smell-o-vision, but I do want to remind you about this very easy way to shift things quickly. So here's a little bit about your anatomy. Your brain, of course, is encased in your skull, except for right at the end of your at your nose by your sinuses. The brain is exposed here. So anything you smell directly hits your brain, including toxic chemicals. With these natural chemicals that are in plants, they hit your brain and affect your limbic system, can dramatically shift stress, support mood, help with focus. So let me just share some of the classic ones. There are so many wonderful ones. Lavender, of course, for relaxation. You have to decide how relaxed you want to get. Because sometimes it's so powerful that it may not be the best thing to use alone during the workday. For some of you, it's perfect, or you may have to add something like a citrus oil, like orange or bergamot. Very good citrus for lifting mood. If you're feeling really kind of low and draggy, citrus, lemon, orange, that type of thing. Another classic one for lifting mood and energy is peppermint. And these are all that I'm showing you are pretty inexpensive. There are some essential oils that are very expensive because it's hard to get the plant essence, like say rose, for instance. And then rosemary is very good to help with memory and focus. And of course, you can use these directly. It's best to put a little drop of oil, regular oil, and then a drop of the essential oil. Rub it and breathe it in at least twice. Goes right to your brain. And of course, you're breathing it into your lungs. Your bloodstream picks it up. I'm already tasting it. That's how fast it goes in. You can also put it in a diffuser. You can put it on the bottom of your feet at night. Wonderful ways to use essential oils. Again, such an easy, cost-effective thing to do. Another one, of course, is exercise. Along with the link that I'm going to share about a guided imagery for you for stress reduction. I also want to give a link for 2 exercise routines that are called HIIT, high intensity interval training. A lot of you may be acquainted with this kind of style of exercising. It's doing something intensely and then something less intensely for a matter of time and going back and forth. One of these is 8 minutes long, and it gives you the same amount of exercise as if you were exercising for 45 minutes. You know, I love this kind of return on investment. And it's a very enjoyable routine also. It uses some yoga poses. Another one is 3 minutes, and it helps increase nitric oxide. And as you do your own research on nitric oxide, you'll be surprised at this remarkable chemical for heart health, for energy, etc. So easy things we can do in 3 minutes or in 8 minutes. But for now, let's just do a very simple thing. Is just get out of your chair if you can, and begin to train yourself at least once an hour. Get up from sitting, okay? And do some simple things like, stretches or a qigong exercise where you're just letting your arms kind of move, right? Or bouncing on your feet. My toes are stable and I'm bouncing on my heels. You can be running in place. You can do any kind of movement, even for a minute. Changes your energy, reduces your stress, helps your health. NASA did an interesting experiment because, astronauts really lose a lot of bone and muscle mass because of not being in gravity. The NASA study said, even if you stand up and sit back down 4 times an hour, you're moving through gravity, it's helpful. Obviously, we need more than that, but don't think that you have to do a 45-minute high cardio routine in order to have benefit about moving your body in fun and safe ways. We're mammals. We need to move. And most of our work, we're sitting on our butts at a computer, at a screen, and it has health implications. But again, exercise, so relaxing for people, energy giving for most. There are some of you that you have to gather your energy in order to exercise. And that's another conversation. Okay, check your SUDS level, just with that little bit of movement. Is it lower? Okay. So we're at 12:38. I think this would be a good time for any of you who have questions. I'll take that. And Carolyn, can you come back on?
Yes, I'm here.
Another option is we can break out in small groups for 5 minutes or so and talk about which of these help the best, and then come back, and then I can still have time for questions and answers. What would you think would be best?
Well, we can start off and do maybe questions in case some of the people have the same questions, and then.
Okay, so you'd rather go with the questions and answers now?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
So
Great.
let's see.
So let's see what we have.
And then before that, someone asked.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't connect with all of you. Like, amazing. We had over 80 people. Yeah, go ahead.
Someone asked in the beginning if we could put the name of the book and the author that you mentioned in the beginning in the chat. So we can make sure we do that as well.
I will do that right now. Okay.
Okay. And then we had a few questions coming in. Someone wanted to know, what are your thoughts on energy healing?
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful topic. Let me get this. I'll put one of the authors here.
Okay.
Let me get that. Energy healing. Love the topic. I use it and I'm trained in it. And we are energetic. the darn thing is we live in a culture that still wants us to think that we're just physical. We are these machines with these parts. No, we are electromagnetic. We are energetic. And underneath all of our physicality is the energy, you know. So in scientific paradigms, you know, the physicality is like the Newtonian science, and our energy is the Einsteinian science. And so very much in the holistic health field, we also bring in energy. Thoughts are energy, right? We can change that energy. Feelings are energy. We can change that energy. Energy flows through us. If we borrow the wisdom from Chinese medicine, they tracked how energy flows within the body. There's also energy around us along pathways that they call meridians or channels. These pathways, they tracked through observation and use. And now that we have modern machines to track these electromagnetic channels, they are exactly spot on. So in Chinese medicine, you do things then with the energy to change the condition, whether it be stress, whether it be something going on with your heart, something going on with your liver, something going on. And how do you change energy? You can change it with breath. You can change it with movement. And in Chinese medicine, for example, as one of the energy medicine modalities, there are others in the world. It's one of the most common ones. They like to do things with points along those meridians called acupoints. So again, I'll stand up, you can stay standing. We can do simple things like tapping on some of these acupoints to move the energy, balance the energy. So I'd encourage all of you, why don't you just try tapping underneath your collarbones. In Chinese medicine, these points are called K27. K is for kidney. And the emotion associated with kidney in that system is fear. And in their medical system, kidneys are key. You know, keep the kidneys strong and balanced, and health will be helped. Let's tap on a few other points underneath the eyes. These are stomach points. All right. Let's tap on this point in between the little finger and ring finger, the knuckles, about an inch down. This is stress relief point, trauma relief point. Okay. And just kind of notice with that kind of tapping. Again, tapping moves the energy. It helps balance the energy. Just notice what's changed. Okay. And then I forgot to ask all of you, check in with your SUDS level with a number after this series of things that we did, and just notice the difference. And I'd love to have some of you put in the chat what you went from maybe an 8 to a 3, or put in what was one of your favorite things. Was seeing nature and being reminded of nature, was the humor, whatever touched you the most. I'd love to see that in the chat. Okay, Carolyn, any other questions?
Yes, we had a handful come through. Someone else wanted to know, could you briefly explain a little bit more where you touched on how stress impacts inflammation?
Oh, yeah. Stress causes inflammation, and with that, we're talking about chronic inflammation rather than the acute kind. You bang your knee on a dresser, you know, that's going to be acute inflammation, and that's the body's way to bring resources there so that can heal. Chronic inflammation is like a slow fire in your system, and it is known inflammation is one of the root causes of all chronic diseases, and stress is a major factor in chronic inflammation production.
Okay. A few more questions came through. And as far as the HIT activity, will that be in the link that you send after today's webinar?
The HIIT, is that what you said? Yeah, absolutely. I'll give that link to.
Okay. Well,
Actually, it'll be 2 different links, so we'll give 3 links. They're
okay.
just such wonderful exercise routines, and again, I've had hundreds of students engage with them, and they go, "This is great." It's nice to have a 3-minute and an 8-minute exercise routine when you want to move but just don't have the time.
And we can send that in the post-event email as well. Someone wanted to know what was the notion that you touched on at the end about for some people it actually takes energy to get them going to do some exercise?
That's a big topic, but I can briefly say that when we have extended stress, remember our anatomy, the adrenal glands, which sit right on top of the kidneys, and they're the size of almonds, they are responsible for creating all of our stress hormones, the adrenaline, the cortisol, whatever. When we overwork our adrenal glands and don't have time to revive them, time to rest, time to be out of stress for a while, the adrenals can get fatigued. And when you have fatigued adrenals, is one example. Of course, chronic disease may be another, where your system is weakened and enervated so that you don't have that experience of exercise giving you energy. Exercise drains you, and it's so support your adrenals. And I even have something here to show a good thing to support adrenals. I'm not prescribing, diagnosing, or treating. Oh, you can't really see the name very well. Ashwagandha. It's the most popular herb for adrenal health support. You would always check, if you're on pharmaceuticals, check with your pharmacist, of course. It's been used for thousands of years. It's a tonic to help revive them, along with getting some sleep. Sorry, I hung up. A good sleep, some eating good food. Walking is another wonderful exercise that often doesn't take much energy. So what I'm showing here is a picture of proaction, prevention, and constantly supporting yourself around your body, your mind, your feelings, your spirit, your energy, so that you can become more resilient. And I'll mention another thing too that can be very draining is all of our technology emits frequencies, right? Which are foreign to us as humans. They have a stress impact. So one of the best things you can do is take a break from them, and definitely do not use your cell phone at your head, right? Use speaker or away from you. Please don't charge your cell phone in your bedroom. Definitely don't charge it at your head. And if you have kids that are sleeping on their cell phones and texting in the middle of the night, etc., please help change that. It's a dangerous habit. And that's a whole huge topic. Okay, I will zip my lips. Next question.
I hope I'm pronouncing it, but can you recommend a source for Qigong movements for beginners? Qigong.
Yeah, Qigong. It's Qigong.
Mm-hmm.
I would, I have a friend that I go to Qigong classes with. I would just do a search, Qigong for beginners, see what comes up. There's so much free out there, to look at the videos and that. And there are different styles of Qigong. And with your own research, you can find something that is very helpful. We do a Qigong exercise in my class where it's a tapping one, where we just start, Chinese medicine is and culture. It's fun. It's like you're stagnant. Well, move the energy, pound on your body. Sometimes it's pretty basic. We don't have to get too fancy with machines. Just move, pound, tap.
Someone asked too, what were your thoughts on tapping and EMDR?
Okay, thank you. I am a tapping specialist. That's a technique called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques. That's one of my main tools that I use. I use with clients as well as students, but I also use with groups, and I do a lot of stress management and wellness work, even in corporations, hospitals, etc. So if you have an opportunity out there, I'm happy to come. Tapping is the EFT, emotional freedom techniques, tapping techniques. Work on the principle that we're energetic, our thoughts, our emotions, our memories, all of that is energetic. And if it's pesky, it means it's distorted in some way. So by tapping on acupressure points, while at the same time using the power of the mind to say, let it go. I am enough. It's safe to let this issue go. I want to be free of this, whatever it is, by using your mind with tapping, it is amazing the shifts that we can get with people with some of their lifelong issues, but it's very helpful for things like stress, for cravings, for habits, for any emotions or mental, that repeated mind, busy mind, that hard to let go of something. It's tremendous. EMDR is only used with licensed practitioners, and it is a trauma relief technique based on the premise that if you move the eyes or other, there's other things like have a pulse going from one hand to the another. In other words, that whatever this trauma is, they're dislodging it from the brain and having it and tremendous. And there are many other trauma relief techniques now that are body-based that are very effective, much more effective than talk therapy. Okay.
Someone also mentioned about habits, and do you think energy healing can heal addictions and habits?
It definitely is a part of it. It's a missing part. The other missing part with addictions, because we know that a lot of 12-step programs are used for addictions, and that is a very important part. Just know that when AA was forming, as one example of addictions, what is the name? Dr. Bill? Is that Dr. Bob? Who is the originator of AA? He wanted to put in a body piece around nutrition, and the board of directors voted that down. And it's a missing piece, that our biochemistry needs to be supported with nutrients. So that's another missing piece. And you add that, you add energy medicine, you add a few other things like trauma relief, these trauma relief techniques, and I believe you have a more well-rounded and then successful addictions healing approach.
Okay, and someone wanted to know which book did you read from after we viewed the full moon in New Zealand video? Which book was that?
Oh, for the spiritual quotes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The quotes were all separate. They weren't from that book. I just keep them in that book because it's a spiritual quote book. So I'll go over those again. Marianne Williamson, and it's a classic quote. Maybe as you search for it, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. I'm sure that that'll bring up that poem. The one by Hafiz, I don't know if it will come up on a search engine. This one's called You're It, YOU''RE, it. And then that's a classic quote from Julian of Norwich, all is well, all will be well. But if you do want a book with really some cool spiritual quotes, it's called Love Poems from God.
Thank you so much. And did you have any other suggested books or authors while we're on that topic? Someone asked.
Oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful request, and I wasn't thinking along those lines. Yeah, there's so much. It kind of, any of the things that I mentioned, will have books associated with them. Like if you're interested in this tapping technique, I mean, it's probably even better is to look at YouTube clips because you can see people doing that. Jump into that transforming stress. book that I mentioned from Heart Math, in that there's so much in there about our heart and this heart-brain connection and communication system, and that they're also saying that as we open our hearts and the vibration of a positive feeling helps transform us, our stress levels, also our biochemistry, but it affects others. And it goes out into what we call the field. And this is big energetics, right? We're part of an energetic system, and you can help change the system and your own life, but others' lives by just, when you find yourself in stress or anger or frustration or judgment, come back to your heart, feel something, put some love out there into the field, right? Yeah, so transforming stress. And again, I love working with clients. I have lots of different recommendations there, but what I would like to do before we end is I'd like to review the quick coherence technique, which will take a minute. For those of you who maybe didn't even join us at the beginning, we bring our instead of our thoughts, we bring our attention to our heart center. We begin breathing slowly and intentionally as if the breath is moving in through your heart center and exhaling out of your heart center. And as you continue doing that, you feel a positive feeling. We went for gratitude. Right now I mentioned love. Let's go for love. Let's put a little extra love in the world and in your body, mind, spirit. You can eyes open or closed. Again, heart center, heart breathing. Slow and easy, and open your heart with a feeling of love. Sometimes you need to think of something to have your heart open in love, but bring it back down to your heart. Spend a moment. Changing you. Changing your heart-brain connection. Your heart is now saying to your brain, go into that parasympathetic tone. Rest, restore, relax, digest. And again, your magnificent inner pharmacy, creating some healing chemicals, going to all of the cells of your body. It's truly miraculous. You're part of something bigger and greater. We have so many inner resources. Heart breathing with a positive heart feeling. And just notice what changes. And finally, check your suds level on a scale of 0 to 10. And bring to mind 1 or 2 or even 3 of your favorite suggestions from this workshop. Jot them down. Begin to use them. They're all accessible and they take just a few moments or minutes. And eyes open whenever you wish.
Thank you so much, Gina. This was amazing. And also for sharing your different books and links with us. And I'll be sure to send that out with the follow-up. I know we're pressed for time. I want to respect everyone's time. And thanks everyone who sent questions. I know we had a few more come in. But just thank you all. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.